Welcome. This video is to explain the membership roster for the membership management system. This is how state secretaries and district secretaries submit a batch of payments up to the state secretary, or if you're the state secretary, to submit a batch of payments up to national. That is the function of the membership roster. It's not used to make a list of your active students. This membership roster has a particular function, which is purely to submit payment information to national. Okay, you will find the membership roster in your state secretary or district secretary dashboard under reports right here for membership roster. Now, before we go there, let's talk about the process up to this point. At the time you're ready to submit a roster, you have already worked through a number of students through member paperwork and have electronically submitted them to NHSRA. It doesn't matter how big that group is. There's not a magic number as to when you need to go ahead and make a membership roster. It's whenever you get to a good point in your system that you feel it's time that you want to forward payment information to national, or as a district secretary, if you're ready to forward that to your state secretary. So you'll see you have here your listed students who you've already done member paperwork for and submitted electronically to national. So at this point, we're ready to say, I want to forward payment to national for those students so that they can then become active. You're going to go to Reports, Membership Roster. Okay, now what the roster does is it is going to compile all of your students at the state level who are in submitted status. It's going to group those students, and you can see them by choosing your state. In this case, it's the fictional state of Martin. Show membership roster. Well, choose the state, and then show membership roster. You can click on the download there, and you can print it out if you like, but just view it for accuracy first. You'll see that it had listed the 3 students that I've processed through member paperwork. It'll give their member number, their name, their contact information, grade, and the date that you received their payment. That is the date that you recorded in your member paperwork when you processed them through that. It will go ahead and total the amount that you need to forward to national based on the number of students and the standard amount that is sent to national. And once it's printed out, you can sign off on it and send it into national. And as I said in the member paperwork video, if all of your students have their national membership application and their national minors release form uploaded and signed correctly, you do not need to send the hard documents along with this form. Now this roster, if for some reason you look at that and you thought someone else should have been on the form, or you realized you want to add some more students to it before you send out that batch, that's fine. You can push this blue button and create a roster to look at as many times as you want. The green button here, however, the green button will print the exact same form as you just saw. It will print this same form. But when you push the green button, that's the last time you can pull those particular students into a roster to send to national. It sets a flag on those students that says they have already had their money sent to national. So do not push this green button unless you're comfortable and sure that this is the group that you're ready to send money for. Okay? That's very important. Once you do that, it's going to take them off the list. So you'll see, I'll show what it does here. I push the green button, and you'll see it printed the exact same list that you saw when printing the blue button. But this has finalized that now and flagged these students. So now, if I go back to my dashboard, you will see that these students are still in submitted status. They will remain in that status until National receives your membership roster with your payment, and then they have the time to go through and activate these students. Once they do that, these students will come off your list. You're free at this time to go through and process new member paperwork for other students. We'll do one, for instance, here. So you'll see that her number's assigned. We've already shown that she has payment and the date received, so we're going to submit her. Go back to our dashboard. You'll see that she now shows up down here as submitted. Now if I go to the membership roster and choose my state, show membership roster, the student that I just processed is the only one on there. The other three are taken off the roster because I hit the green button that says download and send to National, so it took them off the list. Now it's waiting for anybody new that I process. I haven't hit the green button yet. I only hit the blue button to see who I had on there. So I can go back to my dashboard and process as many students as I want to at this time, and it will just keep adding them to that roster until I go back and hit the green button that says download and send to National. This works exactly the same for district secretaries. As a district secretary, your membership roster is going to look exactly like this. Your green button will be download for state secretary. So district secretaries, when you have processed a batch of your students and they're now in district submitted status, meaning they have electronically been forwarded to your state secretary, and now you're ready to send a payment, you can look at your blue roster, show your membership roster. If it contains the students that you want it to contain, and you're ready to send that batch with your money, you would click the green button as a district secretary, which says download for state secretary. The process is exactly the same. Once you've hit that green button and sent the money for that batch of students, they will no longer show up on the roster.